The consortium's flagship materialized above Earth with the subtlety of a thunderclap, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight across the planet's atmosphere in dazzling patterns. In their underground quantum computing facility beneath the Atacama Desert, Director Sarah Chen watched the real-time feed with calculated composure. The aliens had finally arrived, right on schedule. Quantum shroud holding stable, her chief engineer reported, monitoring the invisible field that masked Earth's true technological signature. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see. The massive alien vessel, stretching nearly 10 kilometers across, positioned itself in geosynchronous orbit above the United Nations headquarters in New York. To the consortium's advanced sensors, Earth appeared exactly as they expected. A developing world still struggling with fossil fuels and primitive spaceflight. They couldn't detect the quantum consciousness network that connected every human mind on the planet, or the vast fleet of ships hidden in quantum space. They're broadcasting, Sarah's communications officer announced. The message came in perfect English, transmitted simultaneously to every electronic device on Earth. People of Earth, we come representing the consortium of 3 galaxies. We offer you guidance and protection. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The consortium's arrogance was predictable. They had done this hundreds of times before, finding developing civilizations and slowly binding them in chains of technological dependence. But humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. The consortium's diplomatic party descended to Earth in a shower of light, their landing crafted to awe the primitives. High Arbiter Kexexi, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple sets of eyes, stepped forward to address the gathered world leaders. "We have watched your struggling civilization," the alien announced, its translator converting its harmonic speech to human languages. "We offer you membership in our grand consortium, under our protection and guidance." In the front row, Secretary General Marcus Rodriguez played his role perfectly, affecting just the right mixture of awe and gratitude. Like every human leader present, his mind was connected through the quantum network to Sarah and the rest of Earth's true government, hidden safely away in their underground facilities. "Of course," Kexixi continued, "there will be certain restrictions. Your level of technology requires careful oversight. All space travel beyond your moon must be approved. Your resource development will need our supervision. This is for your own protection." As the alien spoke, Sarah received quantum-encrypted reports from Earth's hidden sensors. The consortium's diplomatic vessel was armed to the teeth, carrying enough firepower to reduce Earth's surface to slag. Just as their intelligence had suggested, the consortium's offer of protection came with the implicit threat of annihilation if refused. "We accept your generous offer," Rodriguez announced, bowing deeply. Behind him, other world leaders nodded enthusiastically, playing their parts in humanity's greatest deception. In her facility, Sarah opened a secure quantum channel to the rest of Earth's hidden leadership. "Phase 1 complete," she reported. "They see us exactly as we predicted, primitive, grateful, and easily controlled." "How long should we maintain this charade?" asked Admiral Zhang, his quantum-projected consciousness appearing beside her. "As long as necessary," Sarah replied. "Let them think us primitive. Let them underestimate us. Every moment they spend looking down on us is another moment we have to prepare." Outside, celebrations erupted across the globe as humanity publicly welcomed their new protectors. The consortium's representatives smiled indulgently at the displays of primitive gratitude, completely unaware that they were the ones being studied, analyzed, and prepared for. In quantum space, invisible to even the consortium's most advanced sensors, Earth's true fleet grew. Ships the size of cities, powered by the collective consciousness of their crews, waited in dimensions the consortium couldn't even comprehend. Humanity had learned long ago that true power lay not in showing your strength, but in having the patience to wait for the perfect moment to reveal it. The game had begun, and only humanity knew the real rules. 6 months into the consortium's protection of Earth, Director Sarah Chen stood in a vast chamber that officially didn't exist. Around her, suspended in quantum space beneath the Pacific Ocean, Earth's newest vessel took shape. The quantum dreamer was unlike anything the consortium could imagine. A ship grown from crystallized human consciousness, its hull seamlessly merged with the thoughts of its crew. Beautiful, isn't she? Dr. Maya Patel, head of quantum engineering, approached with a holographic display of the ship's specifications floating before her. The collective consciousness capacity is triple that of our previous designs. Sarah watched as construction drones, themselves extensions of human minds, linked through the quantum network, wove patterns of impossible complexity into the ship's structure. To the consortium's primitive sensors, this entire facility appeared as nothing but empty ocean. Above them, on Earth's surface, another performance was underway. Consortium advisors inspected a human spacecraft factory, nodding condescendingly at the chemical rockets and basic ion engines being assembled. Your progress is adequate, Senior Advisor Vextil noted, their bioluminescent patterns displaying what humans had learned to recognize as smug superiority. Through the quantum network, Sarah watched the inspection through the eyes of every human present. The consortium's representatives had no idea that the factory's chief engineer could access the combined knowledge of every human scientist who had ever lived, their consciousness preserved in the quantum matrix. Status report. Sarah subvocalized, sending the thought through the quantum network. Instantly, updates flowed into her consciousness from facilities hidden across the solar system. The quantum shipyards in the Oort cloud had completed another 3 capital ships. The consciousness archives beneath Europa had successfully integrated the memories of another 1,000,000 deceased humans, their knowledge and experience added to humanity's collective wisdom. The quantum defense grid, invisible strands of crystallized thought woven between the planets, had expanded to encompass the entire solar system. Director, Maya interrupted her review. We've detected something concerning. The engineer projected a new set of data, readings from their quantum sensors showing consortium ships gathering in nearby star systems. They're stripping resources from other protected worlds at an accelerated rate. 3 developing civilizations have already been reduced to essentially slave labor. Sarah's jaw tightened. This was exactly what they had feared. The consortium's pattern was becoming clear. Find developing worlds, offer protection, then slowly drain them of resources and independence. Earth was simply the latest target in a cycle that had likely been running for millennia. Through the quantum network, she opened a channel to the Hidden Council. Admiral Zheng's consciousness manifested first, followed by the others who truly governed humanity. The consortium grows bolder, she reported. They're not even trying to hide their exploitation anymore. Because they think we're too primitive to understand. Council member Amara Okafor noted, her consciousness carrying decades of diplomatic experience. Each concession they force from other worlds makes them more confident in their superiority. In orbit, a consortium mining fleet passed through the asteroid belt without even notifying Earth's authorities. Their sensors showed them only rocks and empty space, completely missing the quantum surveillance probes watching their every move. We could stop them now, Zheng suggested, his consciousness tinged with carefully controlled anger. The quantum dreamer alone could handle their entire fleet. Not yet, Sarah replied, an echo of countless similar conversations. We need to understand the full scope of their operations. Every moment they spend underestimating us is another moment we have to prepare. She pulled data from the quantum network, showing the positions of Earth's hidden fleet. Hundreds of ships waited in quantum space, each one more powerful than anything the consortium possessed. But humanity had learned patience. They had learned to watch, to wait, to understand. In the quantum shipyard, the quantum dreamer's consciousness core pulsed with growing power. Soon it would be ready for its crew. Thousands of linked human minds working in perfect harmony, their thoughts giving form to technologies the consortium couldn't even dream of. They call us primitive, Sarah said softly, watching the alien ship strip mine another asteroid, because they can't imagine power that doesn't come from physical technology. They don't understand that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our machines, but in our unified consciousness. Through the quantum network, she felt the agreement of billions of human minds. They would wait, they would watch, and when the moment was right, they would show the consortium that true civilization wasn't measured by the weapons you displayed, but by the wisdom to know when to reveal them. Dr. Maya Patel stood in the quantum observatory beneath Olympus Mons, watching a holographic display of a distant solar system. The scene playing out was heartbreaking. Consortium ships surrounded a young civilization's homeworld, their weapons trained on population centers, while diplomatic vessels landed to offer protection. "That's the fourth one this month," she reported through the quantum network. In the year since the consortium had arrived on Earth, humanity's hidden quantum sensors had documented dozens of similar scenarios. Each time, the pattern was the same: find a developing world, demonstrate overwhelming force, then offer the choice between submission or annihilation. Director Chen's consciousness manifested beside her, accompanied by Admiral Zhang and other members of Earth's hidden leadership. Their quantum-projected forms observed the tragedy unfolding light-years away. The Andromedans, Admiral Zhang noted, accessing the collective knowledge about this particular species. They'd just achieved faster-than-light travel. The consortium couldn't allow them to develop independently. Through their quantum sensors, they watched the Andromedan leaders sign away their independence, their hands shaking as they accepted consortium protection. Just as Earth had seemingly done a year ago. "We could have saved them," Maya said softly, her consciousness radiating frustration. The quantum fleet was ready. The Quantum Dreamer and its sister ships could have reached the Andromedan homeworld in seconds through quantum space. "Not without revealing ourselves," Sarah reminded her, "and not without starting a war across 3 galaxies." In orbit around Mars, a consortium survey team was conducting their monthly inspection of human colonies. Their sensors showed only simple habitation domes and basic life support systems. They completely missed the vast quantum cities phased just slightly out of normal spacetime, where millions of humans lived and worked in environments that would seem like magic to their protectors. Speaking of Mars, Zhang's consciousness shifted, pulling data from the quantum network. The consortium has accelerated their timeline. They're demanding we reduce our colonial presence by 60%. They claim the space is needed for their own expansion. Sarah's consciousness flared with controlled anger. Earth had anticipated this move. It was the same thing the consortium had done to countless other worlds. First, limit their space presence. Then, gradually push them back to their homeworld. Finally, turn the entire solar system into nothing but a resource extraction center. Through the quantum network, reports flowed in from Earth's surface. Consortium advisors were becoming more demanding, their requests for resources backed by increasingly obvious threats. Their ships no longer bothered hiding their weapons when conducting diplomatic visits. "They're testing us," Council member Okafor observed, pushing to see how much we'll tolerate. Maya turned from the Andromedan tragedy to another holographic display, this one showing the quantum fleet. Hundreds of ships waited in dimensions the consortium couldn't perceive, each one powered by the unified consciousness of its crew. The Quantum Dreamer, now fully operational, could reshape reality itself through the focused thoughts of its linked human minds. "The fleet is ready," she reported. "The quantum defense grid is complete. We could reveal ourselves at any time." "And start a war that would span 3 galaxies," Sarah reminded her. "We need absolute certainty. We need to understand their full capabilities, their complete command structure." Through the quantum network, they accessed the combined knowledge gathered over the past year. The consortium's arrogance had made them careless. Every inspection of Earth's facilities had been an opportunity to scan their technology. Every diplomatic meeting had been a chance to study their psychology. Every demand for resources had revealed more about their true intentions. "There's something else," Maya added, bringing up new data from the quantum sensors. "We've detected unusual energy signatures from the consortium's home systems. Something big is coming." A priority alert pulsed through the quantum network. The consortium's survey team had finished their Mars inspection and was preparing their report. The message was already taking shape. Earth's colonies were too widespread, too uncontrolled. They needed to be consolidated for their own safety. How many other civilizations have faced this moment? John wondered aloud. How many others watched their independence slowly stripped away, piece by piece? Sarah's consciousness expanded through the quantum network, touching the minds of billions of humans across the solar system. They were ready. The fleet was ready. But timing was everything. Continue monitoring the consortium's home systems, she ordered. If they're planning something big, that might be the moment we've been waiting for. The moment to show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our technology, but in our unity. As if in response, the quantum dreamer's consciousness core pulsed with power, its crystalline structure humming with the combined thoughts of thousands of linked human minds. Soon, very soon, the consortium would learn that their primitive humans had evolved far beyond anything they could imagine. But for now, they would watch and wait and remember every slight, every demand, every civilization forced to kneel before the consortium's power. When the time came to act, it would not be for Earth alone, but for all the worlds that had suffered under the guise of protection. The message arrived without warning through the quantum network. The consortium was mobilizing its largest fleet in centuries. Director Sarah Chen stood in the Quantum Command Center beneath the Atacama Desert, watching as data streamed in from sensors hidden throughout 3 galaxies. The consortium's ships were gathering, thousands of them, all headed toward Earth. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Admiral Zhang's consciousness manifested beside her. Full military formation, weapons charge. Through the quantum network, Sarah accessed the intelligence gathered over the past year. The consortium's true purpose was finally clear. Earth had been designated as their new primary resource world. The protection phase was ending. Now came the subjugation. All quantum facilities, report status, she broadcasted through the network. Responses flowed back instantly from hidden bases throughout the solar system. The quantum fleet was ready. Hundreds of ships waiting in dimensional space, their crews linked in perfect unity through the quantum consciousness network. The quantum dreamer, humanity's most powerful vessel, hummed with the combined thoughts of 10,000 linked minds. Director, Maya's consciousness burst through with urgent data. They're starting with Mars. Consortium ships are moving to surround the colonies. In orbit around the red planet, massive consortium warships appeared in flashes of light. Their weapons targeted the seemingly primitive human habitats, while their commander broadcast their demands. For your own protection, all human colonies will be immediately relocated. Resistance will not be tolerated. Sarah watched through quantum sensors as the consortium's troops began landing, their weapons trained on suited colonists who appeared terrified and helpless. The aliens couldn't detect that every human present was connected to the quantum network, their minds linked to the most powerful fleet ever created. They're doing it everywhere, John reported, pulling data from across the solar system. Europa, Titan, the asteroid colonies, simultaneous takeover of all human settlements. Sarah's consciousness expanded through the quantum network, touching the minds of billions of humans across the solar system. They were ready. They had been ready for months. But she had to be certain. "Show me the consortium's full deployment," she ordered. The holographic display expanded, showing thousands of consortium ships moving into position around human settlements. Their arrogance was complete. They had committed nearly their entire fleet to this operation, confident that their primitive subjects could offer no resistance. Director, Maya's consciousness carried urgent data. They're preparing to fire on the Mars colonies. They're making an example. Sarah closed her eyes, connecting to the quantum network at its deepest level. She felt the consciousness of every human in the solar system, their minds united in purpose. For a year they had watched, waited, and prepared. They had witnessed the consortium's cruelty to other species, documented every abuse of power, every act of subjugation. "Send the signal," she ordered. Through the quantum network, a single command pulsed to every hidden ship and facility. Emerge. Around Mars, reality itself seemed to twist. The quantum dreamer appeared first, materializing from quantum space directly above the largest consortium vessel. The massive ship, crystalline and alive with the thoughts of its crew, dwarfed the alien vessel beneath it. Then came the others. Hundreds of quantum ships emerged simultaneously throughout the solar system, their forms defying conventional physics, their power beyond anything the consortium had ever encountered. Each one was crewed by thousands of linked human minds, their unified consciousness giving them control over reality itself. The consortium commander above Mars barely had time to register shock before their weapons simply ceased to exist, quantum fields reaching through spacetime to erase them at a fundamental level. This is Director Sarah Chen of the Earth Quantum Defense Force. Her consciousness broadcasted directly into the minds of every consortium being in the solar system. Your protection is no longer required. Through the quantum network, she felt the stunned disbelief of the consortium forces as they realized the truth. Their sensors, finally able to detect the quantum technology surrounding them, showed power readings that broke their scales. Their most advanced chips looked like children's toys compared to humanity's quantum vessels. Impossible, the consortium's supreme commander transmitted from their flagship. "You're primitives. We've been watching you for years." "No," Sarah replied calmly. "You saw what we wanted you to see. You saw what your arrogance expected to see. Now you will see our true face." The quantum fleet moved with perfect coordination, their crystalline hulls shimmering with consciousness-driven power. In seconds, they had surrounded every consortium vessel in the solar system. No shots were fired. They didn't need to. The mere presence of humanity's true technology was enough to demonstrate the complete shift in power. "You have 1 hour to withdraw all forces from the solar system," Sarah broadcasted. "After that, we will remove you ourselves. And then we will have a long discussion about your treatment of other primitive species." Through the quantum network, humanity watched as their moment of revelation unfolded. The time for hiding was over. The time for justice had begun. 1 month after humanity's revelation of their true power, Director Sarah Chen stood in the grand chamber of the consortium's capital world. The crystalline form of the quantum dreamer hung in orbit overhead, its presence a constant reminder of how completely the balance of power had shifted. The chamber, once a place where the consortium had plotted the subjugation of primitive species, now hosted representatives from dozens of worlds. Some were former protectorate species, others were civilizations that had lived in fear of consortium expansion. All of them looked at the human representatives with a mixture of awe and hope. "The age of forced protection is over," Sarah announced, her words carried by quantum fields directly into the minds of all present. "Every civilization has the right to develop on its own path." Through the quantum network, she felt the agreement of billions of human minds united in purpose. The past month had seen dramatic changes across 3 galaxies. The consortium's exploitation networks had been dismantled. Their resource extraction operations had been shut down. Their massive fleet now sat idle, quantum fields preventing their weapons from even functioning. "But this is not about revenge," she continued. "This is about building something better." Maya stepped forward, her consciousness projecting images into the minds of all present. They showed the quantum consciousness technology that had allowed humanity to hide their true nature for so long. But now, instead of being used for deception, it would be used for connection. "We offer any civilization that wishes it access to the quantum network," Maya announced. "Not as subjects or protectorates, but as equals. Each species will develop at their own pace, sharing knowledge when they choose, growing in their own way." The Andromedan representatives, recently freed from consortium control, were the first to step forward. Their world had nearly been stripped of resources, their people forced into virtual slavery. Now they would have the chance to rebuild, with humanity's quantum technology helping to restore their devastated ecosystems. Admiral Zheng's consciousness manifested next to Sarah, sharing tactical updates through the quantum network. The last consortium resistance had been neutralized, not through violence, but through the simple demonstration that their weapons and shields were useless against quantum technology. "What about us?" asked the consortium's high speaker, their once proud voice now humble. "What is to be our fate?" Sarah turned to face them, her consciousness touching theirs through the quantum field. She felt their fear, their confusion, their struggle to understand how completely their view of the universe had been overturned. "You will learn," she replied simply. "You will learn what it means to be truly civilized, not through force or fear, but through wisdom and cooperation." The quantum network pulsed with new connections as more species joined, their consciousness adding to the vast collective of knowledge and experience. But unlike the consortium's forced uniformity, the quantum network preserved and celebrated the unique nature of each civilization. Through the great windows of the chamber, more quantum ships emerged from dimensional space. But these weren't warships. They carried scientists, teachers, healers, humans ready to help rebuild worlds that had suffered under consortium rule. "The greatest power," Sarah told the assembled representatives, "isn't in the weapons you wield or the territories you control. It's in the choice to help others grow, to share knowledge freely, to celebrate diversity rather than enforce conformity." On dozens of worlds, humans were already working alongside local species, using quantum technology to repair environmental damage, restore lost resources, and build new possibilities. The quantum dreamer, once humanity's most powerful warship, now served as a mobile university, its consciousness core helping young civilizations understand their own potential. "We hid our power," Sarah concluded, "not because we feared you, but because we needed to understand. We needed to see the truth of how you treated those you thought weaker than yourselves. Now we all have the chance to build something new." The quantum network hummed with possibility as more minds joined, more connections formed, more knowledge was shared. The age of forced protection was over. The age of true cooperation had begun. High above, the quantum dreamer's crystalline hull shimmered with the combined consciousness of thousands of linked minds, human and alien alike. It was no longer a symbol of hidden strength, but a beacon of hope for 3 galaxies learning what it truly meant to be civilized. The universe would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had been waiting for.